Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines here. Is Binance US in trouble? We're asking Trumer or Rumor. FTX and SBF using the idiot defense? We're going to take a look at it. Ripple Swell, ladies and gentlemen. What's it look like? We're going to get under the hood. And how about this? Did Ripple just give us a gigantic IPO signal? And what would it look like when it does? Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.12 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 0.6%. Bitcoin, 28,200 plus right now, off by 4.1. On the disappointing news that the ETF for spot Bitcoin ETFs, rather, have been not approved at this point. But everyone is optimistic it will come in the near term. We'll keep you posted. Ethereum, 1,500 plus right now. The market down this morning. Tether right now, 83.4 billion plus. XRP is 49 cents, off by 3.4 in just the last 24 hours and 1.1 on the 7-day. Ladies and gentlemen, little birdie's telling me that Ripple Private Equity is going to be back on this platform today. You're not going to want to mess around. This stuff will sometimes last minutes and be gone. Do not mess around if you want private equity. Make sure you just click, sign up, register, and start buying private equity. That's how this works. Make sure you don't mess around. Check out our sponsor. Click the link underneath the video. I want to take a second to celebrate this gentleman right here. It is the one and only John Deaton. John Deaton has put a book out called Food Stamp Warrior. Now, I've talked about it on here, and now he's being celebrated on Charles Payne's show on Fox News, and I could not be more happy for someone that getting this garnered attention here, because I tell you something, he's done so much for so many other people, and he's come so far in his life from where he started. Take a quick listen to a piece of this.
Well, from brawling in a schoolyard to taking on the SEC, my next guest has always been a fighter. He's fought for survival for himself, and now he fights for survival of others, and he writes about it in his new memoir, Food Stamp Warrior. Joining me now, crypto law founder John Deaton. John, first and foremost, congratulations on the book. So on the back, it's interesting because from brass knuckle beatdowns on the schoolyard to showdowns with the SEC, and I don't know if we can zoom in, but you're wearing a pair of gold brass knuckles. I mean, what is the deal with these brass knuckles? Is that just sort of a reflection of you and your life and who you are?
Well, two reasons. One is that when you read the book, you realize that growing up where I did in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the country, no matter what size of population, and being bullied for a long time, I finally overcame that by adopting a pair of brass knuckles and defending myself for the first time. And after that, it just became symbolic. And then, of course, the book is published on Brass Knuckle Books.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the inner city of Detroit, a place called Highland Park, Michigan. It's a subsection of Detroit.
I thought all Detroit was inner city. No pun intended either. I mean, it's a rough spot. To your point, it's a rough place to grow up. It's a rough place to come out of. So here you are. You go on to become a Marine, an attorney, a millionaire, and you represent so many people out there who are not represented.
Right.
Is all that part, do you feel a calling to do that?
Absolutely, because I'm the ultimate underdog. So I'm always compelled to fight for the underdog because that's who I am. I'm the first one to graduate high school. I come from generational poverty, not just poverty, Charles. And some people say they grow up poor, but there's poor and then there's true poverty.
When you say generational poverty, to me that also suggests it's not just not having money or resources, but a mentality.
You're 100% right, and that's what people fail to understand. And I talk about it in the book, Charles. What poverty does to the mind and the human spirit. I had a conversation. All my siblings dropped out of high school. I dropped out for the first 3 months. I'm looking for a private school that I can work off the tuition. And my mother catches me crying, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "Well, I want to go to high school." She goes, "Well, just join the military when you're 17 like your brother did." And I said, "I want to go to college." And she said, and God bless her, strongest woman I ever met, she said, "Well, that's just not for people like us, John."
Right.
You know, and that's what it does. That's what poverty does to people. It handcuffs their mind, their spirit, and everything.
It's tough when the people around you, not nefariously, tell you you can't make it, you can't be something, only because they've never seen it happen before. So How did you make it happen without giving away everything in a book?
Well, I know it's not politically correct, but it is that hatred of poverty and the listening.
What's wrong with that?
Well, listening to
I love it.
Yeah, you would, and that's why, by the way, you're the first person that I publicly talked and interviewed about the book, and I couldn't think of anyone better to do that. So thank you for having me.
And it's absolutely right. And I tell you, I have read the book, and there are times that it is so real and so raw, you absolutely have to put the book down and walk away from it. His story is absolutely riveting and breathtaking. You will not believe it. It speaks to the absolute strength in the core of this individual, John Deaton, who has come from such a place to represent over 75,000 XRP holders. This guy knows what it's like to fight, and he damn sure knows what it's like to never give up, and he won't. I just want to celebrate him and tell you, if you have not gotten this book, you would do yourself a service to get it and read it. And I'm telling you, there will be people that read this book and change their life from it. No doubt about it. Here is the quote or tweet that come out here. Binance US from Whalewire halts all users from withdrawing USD amid rumors of insolvency. I'm asking Eleanor Terrett and anyone else if they are able to confirm here. Nothing that I can find as of yet. We will keep you updated on this as we get information on whether this is a trumor or a rumor. But if you yourself are on Binance US, it may not hurt to go give it a look and see what's going on that platform. Please send us a message. And then here we have the update in the SBF FTX trial, and apparently SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, is an idiot, and he's using the idiot defense. Oof, says Ash Bennington. Take a listen.
I think it's become apparent that what the strategy is, and if I were to sum that up in a very kind of catchphrase, it would be SBF is an idiot. That's where they're going. That's what their goal is. But I don't think things are going too well for the defense in this case.
Caroline Ellison had she was on the stand last week, and it seemed that after several hours that they couldn't quite pin any of the responsibility or most of the responsibility on her. She seems to have deflected a lot of it. Is that really the case, or do you think that the defense has made any effort, has done anything to kind of at least put some of the blame onto her?
I think they definitely attempted to do that, but all the pundits that are covering this and all the media personnel who have covered this have all kind of characterized the defense as, taking a swing and a miss, and that they are trying to build a defense. But number one, they're getting shut down by the judge on a lot of key important things. And number two is they're getting shut down by the witnesses. So I think they were attempting to, build a defense of, the SBF is an idiot defense. I think the one thing that they successfully did through Ellison was to establish that SBF was absent a lot, that he was kind of an absentee guy. But I don't think that will matter to the jury. I think what will matter to the jury is that when he was there, what did he do? The funds that went from FTX to Alameda, who directed that? And all the testimony is now that it's right at the hands of SBF, who was doing
the stuff. And yesterday we covered a direct quote from Sam Bankman-Fried, who actually said that he was arguing about why he needed to hire a CFO. All he does is pay attention to what happens to the money, which is what he tried to step away from after the collapse of FTX. Then there's this big news right here. Roblox and Ripple, major gaming company, integrates XRP. Absolutely. This is bullish for XRP. I think we all understand, even if we don't play games. I know I don't. I play a game called Get Wealthy. I play a game called Life, right? I don't play video games, right? But Roblox and gaming is going to be enormous. And I love it as an industry to invest in. And I love seeing this right here where Roblox now accepts XRP, the online gaming giant, with 65.5 million daily users. How about that one? now accepts XRP payments for in-game purchases. We're liking that. Then there's this right here. Mainstream will never show you this. Shout out to Cypress Demonicore and his team. They all know what's coming. Watch it before they delete TikTok again. Yeah, how about it? Take a listen.
So while they're shaking you all out of crypto, behind the scenes, we got events like this coming up. Optic 2023, reimagining Europe's capital markets. You head over here and you can go straight to their agenda and you can look and see what it is these massive institutions are going to be talking about. And when I say the biggest institutions, and you go there, you click at their sponsors, right? You see the event date, October 18th to 17th, right? You got about the event. You scroll down here. Look what we got here. Clearstream, Swift, Euroclear, AWS, BNB Paribas, right? Broadridge.
You and Broadridge, are you seeing the move to DLT-based platforms occur?
Yeah, I think it is. You know, it's funny because with sort of the implosion of the crypto market last year, I think the general public is sort of thinking like, oh, well, this stuff is going away. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when you talk to people in the know in financial services, it's like, no, it's not going away.
Yeah.
And you talk to people in the know in financial services, this stuff is not going away. We even heard Larry Fink from BlackRock this morning's video say that there was going to be a flight to quality referencing crypto assets. Go watch that video if you haven't done it. Then here's Anthony Welfare right here. Here the real-world learnings and details of Palau stablecoin pilot we recently completed from the Ripple VP CBDC at Swell in Dubai. Take a listen to this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Under the hood at Palau Stablecoin Project, Palau Stablecoin is digital currency issued and managed by Palau Ministry and Finance partnership with Ripple. This session will explore real-life lessons learned from Palau Stablecoin Pilot, sponsored by Palau Ministry of Finance, including ways to make payments easier, more affordable for the Republic of Palau. And remember, that has completed, and there will be another phase of the stablecoin experiment and pilot going on in Palau coming up in the near term as well. And in the interim, let's take a look here. Ripple announces Swell Agenda is live. Over the course of 2 days, you will hear from Ripple customers, team members, industry thought leaders discussing how financial institutions and businesses are leveraging crypto blockchain technology. And here you can see the agenda for Wednesday, November 8th. You can just run this down here, and I'm just showing it to you. And we see Bitstamp CTO James Greenwood, Fireside Chat, just to name a few here through this, right? There's the Under the Hood Palau Stablecoin project that will be discussed, right? That's day one wrapping up, Swellabration that evening. And then here you see on day two, you can see Rocket Fuel CEO Peter Jensen. And then they have UAE blockchain ecosystem, Polygon. And then they talk about also how Dubai will be becoming a world leader as a crypto hub. We also know the UK is after the same level of involvement with crypto. And then they will wrap the day's events with a fireside chat with Brad Garlinghouse as well. Shout out to him. Also, navigating the future of carbon markets, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be a very big sector, whether we like it or not. And then this is a reminder right here of Ripple partner Thune's Payment. We have talked about this, but I just wanted to cover it again because Thune's Payment Ripple partner developed the first digital yuan cross-border transfer system in cooperation with China's biggest commercial China construction bank. You can see that highlighted right here. I just want to tell you that, you know, we need to pay attention to all of these things and developments as they're taking place. Then there's this very quickly here, a 1-minute breakdown Mr. Mann shared here. The other day I had informed you of the term asset reference tokens known as ARTs. In this segment, a rep from the EU breaks down the term ART, and that can be utilized for multiple currencies and must have a stable value and can be considered stable coins. Is XRP XLM considered asset reference tokens? Time will tell. I think sounds like Mr. Mann is seeing and leaning into the same thing that I'm seeing. and especially with the development of automated market makers, which will act as a stabilization mechanism for price. It will not price set the asset, but it will stabilize the price through automated market makers and arbitrage and slippage to be able to provide a much tighter, reliable price for XRP while remaining an open market on the back end. Now, with that being said, take a quick listen here.
With the very, very basics. What are crypto assets? Before this regulation, there were different types of terms actually used in relation to crypto. They were named digital currencies or virtual currencies, but now we do have this term of crypto asset, which is a digital representation of value or rights, which can be stored or transferred electronically. And this all happens by use of some type of technology. One possible type is distributed ledger technology that I mentioned before. So if we look at this definition, definitely it is quite broad, and it's evident that it doesn't only cover crypto assets such as cryptocurrencies or payment tokens. And also these types of crypto assets are also divided into separate sections that we will discuss a little bit in more detail in the next presentations. One type is e-money token, another type is asset reference token. So both of these are particular types of crypto assets because they are referring to specific types of assets. So e-money token is a token that is only referring to one specific type of official currency, whereas asset reference token can refer to several currencies or several classes of assets. And by these links to these assets, these types of cryptocurrencies are supposed to, or are at least trying to maintain some sort of stable value. So before MiCAR was passed, there was and still is the term of stable coins. So if you're thinking stable coins, they will likely be covered by both of these definitions, by either of these definitions.
And that's where it gets interesting, because I've asked many times now, could XRP be categorized as a stable coin or a stabilization mechanism, as I suggested with the automated market makers coming into play and changing the characteristics of the token to qualify as something more stable and reliable in the financial system? We shall see. Then this came out yesterday. Ripple IPO incoming here. Shareholder communications senior manager they're looking for now, ladies and gentlemen. The work and the role in this, you'll be responsible for communications, relationships, management strategy, execution for the key groups of existing prospective investors, current shareholders, and financial analysts. In addition to the communications team, you will work cross-functionally with most teams at Ripple. This role reports directly to the Senior VP of People, Places, and Communications. That's what is going on there. Now, this is getting very, very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Then I remind you of this. Linda P. Jones broke down very quickly here just what a Ripple IPO could look like and compares it to Coinbase. Take a quick listen.
The share price, some people say, oh, it's expensive because it's a $40 share price. But it's not the price of the share, it's the value of the company. That you want to look at, because a valuation of something like $6.6 billion with Ripple has the potential to IPO at a much greater value. So just as a comparative measure, some of you have heard me say this. How many people have heard me do that level of calculation? Some of you? Thank you. So we can compare Ripple to other companies that are like companies, that are similar companies. And that's kind of hard to do, except for one company, and that's Coinbase, that was on the Link2 platform and went public at a valuation of $86 billion. So Ripple being at $6.6 billion right now, and Coinbase going public at $86 billion, that's more than 10 times where Ripple is right now. So that's why I say, I think, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, I think that the potential for Ripple could be more than a 10-time improvement in your initial investment. So if you invested $10,000 in Ripple, it could become a $100,000 investment. And that's just if it doesn't do as well as Coinbase did. If it does better than Coinbase, which it could, and it could for one very important reason, and that is because right now Ripple holds their XRP asset at zero value on their balance sheet. So there's no value right now for XRP on the Ripple balance sheet. So if Ripple does value XRP at 50 cents today, or whatever it is selling at today, or if they're able to give it a higher valuation because it moves up from where it is today, if it went to its old highs at roughly 384. 384, thank you, Jack. 384. That put us at over a 14x valuation, where $10,000 invested could become $140,000. So the potential with Ripple, I think, is one of the best on the Link2 platform.
I really agree with her, and it's not financial advice to me, her, or anyone else, but it's very exciting to see that we're possibly witnessing Ripple begin to hire and position for the IPO in the near term. Let's hope. Right? We don't know the answer. But what I do know is if you haven't had a chance to join the Freedom Zone, you can do so with the link underneath the video. No more are we going to let censorship separate us. And today we're going to dive into what possibly may have caused the silencing of the largest XRP influencer in this space, the GOAT himself, digital asset investor. Let's make sure that nobody can separate us. Nobody comes between us anymore. For the cost of a cup of coffee, we're going to stay in touch, and we're going to start to touch on subjects in a deeper way inside of this group without the fear of censorship happening to any of us. And should it happen, we can guarantee that we can stay connected so we can always get the information and keep the line of communication open. That's what we're doing inside of here. Make sure you click the link. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. We'll see you inside the Freedom Zone.